Of Q broadcast, it's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Starz. And the best part, there are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Now, take a second and think about your current cable bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one convenient package? People everywhere are switching to Q Broadcast, saving money and getting more content than ever before. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and sign up for Q Broadcast today. Just $60 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. It's time to take control of your entertainment and start streaming smarter.
We live in a world where men are told it's harmless. It's just entertainment. But let's stop lying to ourselves. Pornography destroys. It weakens your spirit. It dulls your drive. And it robs you of what real intimacy is supposed to be. Every click is a step away from the man you're supposed to be. We can't call ourselves leaders if we are slaves to a screen.
As someone that is prior service, I know all about discipline. And discipline isn't out there, it's within your mind. Porn rewires your brain, weakens your will, wrecks all of your relationships. It doesn't just stay on a screen, it invades your marriage, your confidence, and your actual purpose. As men, if we don't learn to discipline ourselves, we'll be ruled by our impulses. Now, it is time to stand up and take control before this silent war takes more than you're willing to lose.
Real men don't hide in the shadows of shame. We step up and we protect what's ours. We fight for our wives and kids, our own hearts. Twitter isn't just an app, it's a weapon. It's a tool used to break free and start living like the man that you're meant to be. The battle's here and it starts with you. You can stop living in shame and you can break free today.
Of Q Broadcast, it's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q Broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want, including HBO, Cinemax, and Starz. And the best part, there are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy streaming live TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. Imagine being able to watch all your favorite channels from anywhere, anytime, without any restrictions. We're talking about thousands of movies, hundreds of TV series, and a huge library of live channels, all in one place. And don't forget video on demand and pay-per-view events. Those are included at no extra cost, so you'll never miss a big event again. Now, take a second and think about your current cable bill. You're probably paying anywhere between $100 and $300 every month, locked into long-term contracts, and hit with surprise rate increases. With Q Broadcast, that's a thing of the past. It's just $60 a month. No contracts, no extra fees, no hidden costs, and no price hikes. Why juggle multiple subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, and cable when Q Broadcast gives you everything you need in one?
Here at the Anomic Age, we know that these times of uncertainty are stressful. It is incumbent upon all of us to put our fears first and bow down to government tyranny. Gone are the days of freely leaving your home, working, and social interactions. In exchange for safety, we will trade liberty. At the Anomic Age, we understand. However, just in case you want to get off your knees and stop being a sniveling coward, check out the John Age Project at anomicage.com.
Meet Ann Morrissey, who is here with her daughter, Dareth. Dareth is 17 years old. Mrs. Morrissey, I don't have to tell you that most parents would be extremely depressed if their daughter came home one day looking like this. I assume that was your response. Shock, anger, depression? What was it?
I was extremely angry. I really went bananas.
Yeah, how old was she when this happened?
Possibly 13, 14 years old.
We're talking like it's a disease, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah. How did she explain it to you, Mrs. Morrissey?
there was very poor communication until we went into counseling. And it almost broke up our family. But through counseling and Serena, I can understand it better.
What do you understand?
That she feels like she doesn't want to be like everyone else. And she wants to be her own person. And through the dress code and her lifestyle, she's expressing this. It doesn't conform with our rules, but we're learning to cope, and it's a very, very difficult thing. Extremely difficult.
Dareth, let's let you talk for yourself. You're from Long Beach, California.
I just can't handle being like everybody else because that's what everybody else wants, you know. Just because somebody else does something does not mean that I have to do it. You know, I have my own morals and ideals, and I go by them.
Are you drug-free, Dareth?
Yes, I am.
Is this a political statement then? Do you have some misgiving about the society that you see?
Yeah, there's a lot of problems, you know. A lot of the people are really aware of what's going on, you know, and I don't like it, you know. There's a lot of problems.
What?
I don't like the way society is based.
What bothers you? Give us some of the misgivings you have.
The rich, the poor, the people starving, the wars, you know. Why can't, you know, everybody just get along and just live their life?
Here at the Anomic Age,
Selling real and Chevy.
Propagating truth in a world of lies. You are listening to the John Age Project.
Trust no one. Trust no one. Trust no one.
You found it. You're here. You're headlong down the runaway train that is the Anomic Age, and I am your host, John H., hailing proudly from the coastal plains of the old North State. I'll be your tour guide this evening as we take a somewhat satirical journey down the path of murder, destruction, mayhem, and the extermination of human life on this planet. A forced march into obsolescence thrust upon us by a global Luciferian death cult of pedophiles. Check out anomicage.com. If you've not already done so, please like all the likes, subscribe to all the subscriptions, paypal.me/anomic age, patreon.com/anomic age as well. That's the best place you can go for all things me, right there at anomicage.com. You can definitely like all the likes, excuse me, subscribe to all the subscriptions. We got the free iPhone app, the free Android app, the subscribe by email link, the free newsletter, and so much more. Waiting right there for you at anomicage.com. So, excuse me. So please check out anomicage.com, folks. If you're on the iTunes platform or any of the other ones for that matter, make sure you throw me some 5-star reviews, some kind words, some greeting salutations, and otherwise. You can contact me at john@anomicage.com if you want to do that too. If you want to talk to yourselves or amongst yourselves, I should say, you can throw some comments out there too. So there's that going on. So thanks ever so much for everybody. I say thank you for all those cats that have been with me for the long haul. I didn't realize how long this haul has been until you start looking at the dates on this thing, but definitely been around in this mug for a little over 5 years now. So thanks. Thanks for sticking with me. Especially to the new folks as well in the Patriots Prayer Network. Thanks for tuning in. This is not my usual time slot. It's usually going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. to a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to check me out on my usual time slot, it's going to be that 11:30 Tuesdays and Thursdays p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're new to the game, go to anomicage.com as well. You can look at all those interviews from countless guests, as well as a whole lot more just me talking on there too. We got a pretty good show coming up for you this Thursday. I'll just leave it at a Alfred Hitchcock moment, a little bit of a cliffhanger, but it'll be a good guest on Thursday. At least I think so anyway. So what else we got to talk about? Anything we got to talk about before we delve headlong into the dung pile? Might be it. I don't know. I feel like I'm leaving something on the table, but hopefully I will remember it as time passes on. All right, folks, if you're looking at the obvious, tonight we're all the way up to information breakdown segment. I almost said 521. Pick your cult. Pick your cult, folks. We're going to get into the choosing your cult tonight. I wasn't even going to do an episode this evening because it's not my usual time slot, but I kind of felt like, man, there's so much nonsense out there. We kind of need to throw some stuff on the wall and see what sticks, because it's downright nauseating out there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's disgusting. And several people, I'll take that back. Not several people. People, we'll just say that. We'll leave the numbers concealed, as the great John B. Wells says, for reasons of security and therefore insecurity. Anyway, people mention this whole CPAC thing to me. And conservative, was it Action Committee or some nonsense like that? I don't know. People mention that to me, and I don't know why. And I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody who went to that, so I ain't trying to do that. I'm just saying. I don't know. Anybody that knows me knows I would never, ever in a million years go to CPAC. I wouldn't go to CPAC if it was free. I wouldn't go to CPAC if it was free in my hometown across the street from my house. I would not go to CPAC if it was free if they paid me. Flew me first class, put me up in a 5-star resort hotel in the penthouse suite. I wouldn't go to CPAC because it's just nonsense, folks. I mean, those of you who don't know me, here's a little behind the scenes. I hate big crowds. I'm not into schmoozing. I'm not into like the used car salesman. Hey there, shtick of business cards being exchanged in some sort of asinine elevator pitch to a bunch of boobs that I don't give a rat's patoot about. I'm not in any of that. If it's any kind of party, I'm probably not showing up, okay? That goes for Action Committee for the Conservative Party, a house party, a birthday party. I ain't gonna be there most likely, folks, because I hate that kind of crap. So there's your 2 cents. There's no way on earth I would go to CPAC or anything like that. I'm just not a conference kind of guy. That's not how I roll. That's like the whole prospect of that just makes me feel itchy and disgusting. So no, I didn't go to CPAC. I would never go to CPAC. I don't want to go to CPAC. So for real though, you could send me free to the next one. I ain't showing. So there's that. I don't know why people really. I do know why. I swear. Every time I say that, I answer my own question. I don't know why anyone would go to this kind of job. I don't know why anybody still believes in the duopoly system that we live in. That kind of job. I don't know why people still believe in the voting system. I don't know why people believe in the 3 branches of government and all this pomp and circumstance, mom, baseball, apple pie, standing up straight, and pledge, although, whatever it is. I just think following how anybody's buying it anymore. It makes no sense to me. None at all. But, there's still the true believers out there, and good for you, I guess. So tonight we'll kind of we'll talk about, that is, this lovely dichotomy that we had going on this weekend. And it's very apropos because you've got this weekend the dichotomy of CPAC. And then you've got the other side of the coin, both just as lunatic as a bleep house rat. But the other side of the coin, you had this rash of No Kings protests all weekend, I suppose. I mean, you saw this supposed big group of No Kings protesters in Philadelphia and Philly. You saw the same thing across the pond. So you had that. And then like the flip side of that is you had the Conservative Party Action Committee or whatever the bleep it is. The truth of the matter is I care so little, I don't even know what these bleeps. I don't want to know, folks. I know enough to say I don't want any part of this. It's like, how do you know crack's bad? You've never tried it. Hey, folks, I don't need to try crack to tell you it's bad, okay? And I don't need to go to CPAC to tell you it's a pile of refuse either. So anyway, so you had the old No Kings thing across the pond and here in Los Estados Unidos, and there, as I've said many times before, there's no sacred cows in my barn. That's why I cover the stuff that no one else on the right wants to cover, because I'm not on the right, nor the left, nor the middle. I'm both fingers up on all sides because I don't want to be led. I don't want a duopoly, global satanic death cult of pedophiles ruling over me, telling me what to do, unconstitutionally stealing my money vis-a-vis taxes, giving it to Israel, Ukraine, and every other third world bleep hole across this globe as some sort of half bleeped ransom. I'm not into that, folks. So the irony of ironies, I guess, the No Kings thing, and you've all seen the same mess as me. And again, I'm not for the No Kings thing, but I'm also not for the CPAC thing. But we'll just give the due to the No Kingers, because there's all kinds of propaganda coming out. Oh, this isn't footage from this event. This is footage from blah, 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 20 years ago, whatever. Okay. The other side of that coin is it's all paid people. They're paying all these boobs to show up at these various events. Okay. And the other, I guess, end of that thread you could always throw out there is that the general public is so stupid, and this is the one I agree with, it's so stupid that it's easy to get all these Nimrod, ne'er-do-wells, carpetbaggers, and otherwise low-class bottom feeder trash out there to these various events. That's going to be right or left, just so we're clear. So there's that, and I would probably say that's the deal, folks. Because no matter where you are, especially here in the United States at this juncture, it's K through 12 indoctrination, college, university weaponization. I don't know how many times I got to say it. That's what's up. So yes, the bar has been lowered and lowered and lowered. I mean, it's like a blame limbo stick as far as the intellect, the IQ, and surely the problem-solving ability of the vast majority of the general public, the brain dead, the attention span of a goldfish, all that. That's where we're at. So that is all true. So when you say, yeah, these morons are out there at these big events, they're just doing it for clickbait. They're just doing it to make a video. They're just doing it because that's what they've been indoctrinated into. Yeah, that's all legit. 100%. Okay. But I would suggest to you that there's probably also a big constituency in this whole no kings thing that's kind of just in the we've had a blip enough camp. That's kind of what I'm thinking, folks. I don't know, because I ain't going to that job either, but I'm just thinking there's a lot of people that just had a blip enough. There's a lot of people that have had enough of the right and enough of the left. So we can hope that is true. I don't know. You know what I mean? Here's the deal, folks. At the end of the day, all of this dichotomy, all of this binary opposition, all of this proletariats and bourgeoisie, all of this right-left paradigm of nonsense and turds, it's just meant to divide you, folks. So that's what's up at the end of the day. It's this division. It's dividing the sheep amongst the sheep, and they're all going with one wolf or the other wolf. It's the same blipping wolf, folks. It's the same wolf. So at the end of the day, that's what's up. At the end of the day, there's no voting your way out of this. And don't get excited because there's no fighting your way out of this either, because the vast majority of the American people are softer than Charmin, folks. I mean, did you forget the COVID hoax? Did you forget how many morons walked in lockstep with the little mask on, followed all the rules at the grocery and at the pharmacy? And these are the same people that you think are somehow going to rise up. They're going to rise up. It's a great Crass song, by the way. Great song by a band called Crass. You better rise up. You better rise up. But it's not going to happen. So don't get excited. Don't send any agents to my house. I ain't espousing that, condoning that, or in any way promoting that, because I know better. It's not happening. You stand a better part of a better chance of, I don't know. I'm not even going to say that. I'm not going to get anything like that going. So I'm not going to say it. So that's what we got going on at the left. The no kings, hundreds of thousands of people. I don't know what the actual numbers are. I think it said over 100,000 in Philadelphia. It looked darn near close to that, if not exceeding that, across the pond in Britannia. So for what it's worth, people are a little bit hacked off. Just thinking out loud, just saying. It's obvious, isn't it? People are a little hacked off. And I also realize, everybody wants to say all this is controlled. This is all George Soros or whatever his son's name is, his little minion fool. Excuse me. So they're saying this is all Soros orchestrated and funded and blah, 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 just like Black Lives Matter, just like Antifa and all that. And so, yeah, of course it is. You're probably right. Of course it is, man. But the problem is that even though that is right, we're not seeing any contra to that. I guess the last contra to that was Charlie Kirk and his organization. And we know what that's about. At least you should now. It's funny, all the right is all up in arms because some black dude did whiteface and was making fun of Erica and Turning Point USA. Oh my goodness, it's just blasphemous and terrible. Okay. I don't really give a bleep. Anyone who's buying the Erica Kirk shtick also bought into the Tammy Faye Baker shtick. Anyone who's buying the Charlie Kirk shtick probably also has some Amway they want to sell you. Maybe they've got some Avon, maybe too. Anyway, so there's that. So it's all division. It's really what it boils down to here, folks. It's all division. It's keeping the right and the left separate, contra to each other, and never actually figuring out they're both getting bleeped by the same oligarchs. But more to the point, I guess what I was trying to say there is that we can presuppose and probably assume with 100% certainty that this is all George Soros funded, just like the BLM and the Antifa and all that other bull job. The no kings ain't too far away. So when you're looking for your funding for that, it's the same funding for the K through 12 indoctrination, college, university weaponization. It's the same funding for the people that do all the grants at university for the research projects, the Carnegie endowments, the Ford foundations, and the like. It's the same people, folks. It's the same flipping people. So I guess the real question you should be asking yourselves is, where's that funding on the right? Where's all that going? Is there any big benevolent funders on the right that are pushing this other side of the coin? Or more importantly, why isn't there anyone funding the unification of both of these splintered parties of turds? Because if you want any rubber meets the road action, reaction, action to parlay a little fugazi for you, then you're going to have to see the unification of both parties, no matter how bleeped you think the other side is. And they're bleeped on both sides. Don't get me wrong. But no matter how messed up you think the other side is, you're going to have to see some unification. Because as the great Sham 69 once sang about, if the kids are united, they can never be divided. And that's what we actually need to see, is some unification. You're not going to see it because the two sides are too splintered. It's far too divisive. Thanks to the funding on the right, or excuse me, mainly on the left, because there's no real funding on the right. I mean, the right is really just the Israel First Party, which is, inconsequentially different than the left, in my humble opinion. It's the same old bull job. But, where is that unification party? Where's that funding coming from? You ain't seeing the My Pillow cat putting any money where his mouth is as far as that goes. It's just the same old right-left paradigm. We got to win the midterms. We got to win the election in a couple of years, and it'll all work out. How so, actually? How so is that going to work out? Seems like a bunch of BS to me. Let's go to some video, because I know you people are going, John, can't we see the videos? We want the videos. We have the attention span of a goldfish. We want videos. We don't want talking. Just kidding, folks. But I got videos for you anyways. Let's talk. Let's rather listen to this lady talk. And I want you to notice something on this one, folks. You should notice this. Before I play it, you should notice this. All right, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Pick a lot, like Barney Fife, and I'm going to give you my take on this in a momento.
This is not my opinion. This is a fact. If you look at the census, if you look at the birth rates, we have to. There is no future for the Republican Party if we do not invest in the Hispanic community. And what I need Washington to do is to, thank you. What I need Washington to do is to stop dictating what we do. Complement our work. Complement what we do. Do not tell us what to do. We know exactly what to do to win the midterms.
Oh, really? Okay, so before I even start in on this, let me go back just a hair, because you need to know, right? So this is CPAC, and these are the people talking to you. This is who's telling you what to do. So make some notices here. Do I need to say it, folks? Do it. So to quote the foreskin, seems to me there's nothing new anymore. Seems to me it's all been done before. And it's the same old shtick, it seems, on the right. I mean, this is the same shtick on the left, but I mean, the right, you're supposed to have that strong masculine energy, right? You're supposed to have all that tough bravado of the fake testes off the back of your big diesel truck and a gun rack and some tight-fitting 2A shirts and all that good stuff, right? I'm just thinking, this is who's talking to you or talking down to you, saying that you don't know what you're doing, but they're going to tell you what to do. And this falls right in line with what DJT has been telling everybody since he got elected anyway. This wasn't his language before the election, but after the election, he said, the Americans are too stupid to do all these jobs. We're going to need these H-1B visas to do all these jobs because American people just can't do it. And then he began to little backpedal again. It was like a moonwalk backpedal. Then it was like, you know what else we need? We need to only go after the illegals that are real criminals And the record scratched, and everybody glanced at themselves and went, they're all criminals if they're illegal, DJT. But he immediately said, no, no, no. Idiot slave class, fake MAGA. No, the only real illegals are the rapists and the murderers. Because, of course, we've got to have someone to do all these jobs that Americans won't do. Well, they won't do the jobs, DJT, because they're getting the funding. They're getting their little freebies, their little wicks, their little, whatever they call food stamps these days. They're getting that all. So why would they work? And the better question, once you really analyze this whole thing from the like 10,000 foot view, you got to really ask yourself some serious questions about working for the slave massa anyway. You really do, folks. You got to ask some serious questions when like almost half your salary is going to taxes, which is really just going to fund other countries, to pay for people that don't work, and to be a merc army for Israel. You got to ask yourselves why exactly. Is anyone working or paying taxes? You know, a great book I've often referenced, I believe it's called The Machine Shuts Down, or The Machine Breaks Down. I always get those two confused. But anyway, this is CPAC. This is CPAC and the lovely ladies of CPAC. Man, I'm trying hard to be nice. It's a Sunday. I'm trying to be godly, and I'm not going to be the person you want me to be and eviscerate these people like I want to. I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. But these are the people telling you what to do. These are the people telling you, you know what? Republican conservative boobs, the blue blood Republicans, those dreaded boomers that everybody likes to disparage. What you really need is you need to go with the Hispanic vote, AKA go with the illegals, John. Just like DJT was telling you, got to go with the illegals because there just ain't enough crackers that are conservative that are going to vote. But they're really not discussing the real issue, meaning that the elections are bought and paid for and stolen. You're missing that one, I guess, huh? That they're selected, not elected. Who said that? I can't recall. Was that, I think that was that scumbag Roosevelt, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, they're just telling you, oh, we got to get behind this other boat and block and it'll all be all right. Just go back to sleep. Just come. So that's what's going on in CPAC. The decidedly feminine point of view is leading you around by the nose. Looks a whole lot like the Turning Point USA shtick, doesn't it? Looks a lot like Erica. I mean, maybe Erica was there. I don't know. Maybe she was reading off the prompter and leading the lemmings to the sea. Perhaps. I don't know. I won't there, so I don't know. Anyway, you got your gold fringe flag and everything. It's an Admiralty Court, John, an Admiralty Court. Quite perceptive, but most people won't get it. So, yeah, there's that too. All right, I got to get these people off the screen or I'm going to be myself, and nobody wants that. Okay, what else we got to talk about today is it's just when you thought it was safe to look on social media. Alas, it's Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider saying, well, he's really continuing what he's been saying. And I go back to the morals and dogma. When a hero is needed, one will be provided. And they have thrown out, kind of like candy at a parade, just a litany of influencers, a litany of Hollywood types, a litany of musicians over the past few years. They seemingly have come out of the woodwork, and everyone, took the bait and rolled into the trap like it was legit. But I'm here to tell you, I'm thinking perhaps not. I'm thinking more like the morals and dogma quote that I mentioned a few moments ago. Because it's a great way to divide everybody, because people that think they have no allies and they're just nothing at the party. And then alas, some of their friends show up and they have someone to talk to and they have someone to commiserate with and someone to just yuck and hoo, with their pals. And that's really what we've seen in the last 5 to 10 years. We've seen like this litany of people just kind of pop up out of the woodwork. I didn't know they were concerned. Everyone from the black guy to the Indian guy to the Muslim guy to the actor guy to the musician guy. They're all there. Oh, where there's women too, because I know the females are just chomping at the bit to gripe and moan about something, and that's what's up, folks. So your favorite sacred cow is in the barn for you. Don't worry, they're out there. They're just waiting for you to, pat them on the head, I guess. And this is really what I'm talking about with the division again, folks. It's division, division, division. So Rob came out a couple weeks ago talking about how he's supporting the war in Iran. Why? I don't know why. I know why we're there. That's for the little hat people. Why is Rob supporting this? I guess he's in the blue blood Republican camp, and that's what he's been paid to say. I don't know. Maybe that's how he really feels. But I can't help but think of the old CCR classic, Fortunate Son, when I'm scrolling down here and I'm looking at Rob's smug mug, and then he goes down here. Come on, I thought the daggum. Oh, my goodness. I had the thing pulled up, and alas, it's all gone to pooey. We must once again commit ourselves to one nation under God, indivisible. Therefore, we must restore the military draft for our nation's young people. And this is how it's always done, folks. It's always done. That old Mary Poppins thing, a spoonful of sugar makes a medicine go down. And it's going down for most of these slaves, because most people are buying into the first half, and that's causing them to go along and get along with the second half. One nation under God. Well, that's nice. What a coinkydink. Which God is that, Rob? Because it ain't the God of Muhammad. It ain't the God of Israel. It'd be the God of Jesus. That'd be the one God. And then they throw in this second caveat, which should make everyone's eyebrows raise and perhaps a little bit of consternation and resistance. But is it? Therefore, we must restore the military draft for our nation's young people. To borrow a little phrase from the great Gerald Celente, Jesus was the Prince of Peace. And by was, I mean is. He was the Prince of Peace in his mortal fleshly form, and he's still the Prince of Peace now. So what exactly would the Prince of Peace be doing in another country's business? Exactly. What? What would the same guy that turned the money changers' tables over and started beating them with a whip, what would he have to do defending, allegedly, the nation of Israel, which came into play in, what was that, 1947? What exactly does that have to do with Christendom and one nation under God, Rob? Just thinking, just wondering. What's that got to do with the price of eggs, Rob? And here's the shtick. Here's the deal. Here's the quandary for all those people who are just falling all over themselves to go fight wars for Israel. I would suggest that you join up. Go ahead. Get your kids in the draft, or excuse me, Freudian slip. Get your kids to join the military, and you go ahead and join the military too. And if you're older than military age, maybe you can get one of those passes so you can get in as an ulster. Or better yet, or if you're in one of these multi-millionaire cat clubs, then I'm pretty sure you can find the proper ways that you can jump over there and do some fighting on your own. I promise you can pull it off, Rob. You can put some money into it. You can get some armaments and some weapons, and you can get a flight over there to the Gaza Strip or to Israel's little lovely area, and probably you can even get over there in Iran. And you can just have your belly baited as bull jive, folks. That sounds like the best plan I've ever heard. And all these moron politicians need to be the first ones on the boat or the proverbial plane, too. Get old Lindsey Graham over there falling all over himself to fight somebody. Go for it, Lindsey. Get old Barron Trump out of university and put his butt on the front lines of this one, DJT. What's up? I see no problem with this. Go for it. But we're not going to sacrifice our children for your bull job. That's 100% B to the S, folks. It has nothing to do with defending America. I get so sick of this complete boulder dash that we get painted with this broadest of brushes all the time. The military is defending America. Wrong. They're defending oil. They're defending money. They're defending the stock market. They're defending anything and everything but America. If they were defending America, they'd be rousting the people out of those hallowed halls. That's the only defense that we actually need. Iran ain't stealing my money for wars. They're not. Iran's not hassling people on the streets. They're not. Iran's not making my oil prices go up. They're not. So there's the quandary, folks. The quandary. Let me see what I want to get into right about now. I might save this next slide for another time because why not? I'll save this next little piece for Tuesday, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be here dancing a jig for you, doing some anomic age again. We got to play this one. This one's hot off the press. I just heard this about before I went live, and I thought, man, this works so perfectly into what I'm already covering. I got to cover some more. Cover some more. All right, so we got old Pete Hegseth. Love how, Edward Bernays convinced the American government to change their marketing from the Department of War to the Department of Defense. And then DJT comes along. We're flipping the script, baby. We're going right back to Department of War. Ooh, boy. Here's Pete Hegseth. He is basically saying that in the United States, Los Estados Unidos, remember that Latina was telling us we got to get more Latinas if we want to get on with the next round in the Republican standoff. We got to get more Latinas. That's going to be very ironic for my last slide tonight, so you'll love that. Anyway, so you got Pete Hegseth. He's basically pushing the Greater Israel Project, but it's the Greater America Project. He even uses these words. You can't make this jive up. So over there in Little Hat Land, you got Israel saying, the Greater Israel Project. It's not about the Gaza Strip. It's not about protecting the homeland. It's about expansion. It's about expanding on over into Egypt, expanding on over into Iran, expanding left, right, and otherwise. It's hysterical, folks. So that's really going on. Oh, in case you missed it, Israel opened up some sort of dam that was holding back sewer water. So now the Mediterranean Sea is, as I guess, getting flooded with poo-poo. Oh, boy. That's pretty cool. There was a video of it, but it was just like a video of creepy and bubbling out into the water. I don't know. So this could always be a deep fake. Maybe this is just fake news. So it might be. So you fact check that one for yourself. Perhaps it's fake news. And maybe this Pete Hegseth clip is fake news too. I don't know. But allegedly, this is Pete Hegseth calling for the Greater America Project. More wars for expansion so we can expand our reach, love, and benevolence like freedom fries and democracy. We're spreading democracy. It's not a war, John. It's more democracy spreading. It's more regime change. I'm going to shut my lips here. Just go with this. Here we go. Listen to Pete.
That is why President Trump has drawn a new strategic map from Greenland to the Gulf of America to the Panama Canal and its surrounding countries. At the Department of War, we call this strategic map the Greater North America. Why? Because every sovereign nation and territory north of the equator, from Greenland to Ecuador and from Alaska to Guyana, is not part of the global South. It is a security perimeter in this great neighborhood that we all live in. Each one of these countries border either the North Atlantic or the North Pacific. Each one of these countries sits north of the two basic geographic barriers that exist in this region, the Amazon and the Andes Mountains. This is basic geography. that we don't teach in schools as much as we should.
We don't
And it
teach it.
restores our North-South relations, and we must get it right. In the North, the United States must enhance posture and presence in cooperation with you and our sovereign partners to defend our shared immediate security perimeter. In the South, meaning south of the equator, the other side of this great neighborhood, we will strengthen partnerships through increased burden sharing. This will enable you to take a greater role to defend the South Atlantic and the South Pacific, and to secure critical infrastructure and resources in partnership with us and other Western nations. This is what we did in World War II.
All right, I'm going to cut off Pete here, really, because I can't stomach anymore, Pete. So that's what's up, folks. In case you thought something else, it's the Greater Israel Project, except over here in this hemisphere. So basically what old Petey Pete's saying, there's a whole lot of people in your neighborhood, in your neighborhood, in your neighborhood. And rather than standing as sovereign nations, we need to group up, a collective even. What? It's going to be great. You know, Greenland and Mexico and Canada will all just be one love train. That's what we got going on, folks. It's all going to be America first, right? No, it's really just going to be one big globalist nightmare. Boy, oh boy, you just can't make this. You can't make this stuff up, folks. You can't. So that's really what we got going on. It's going to be one big love train. We're just going to start taking over nations one by one. Does this sound familiar to anyone out there? It should. I mean, it should sound pretty much like the Rio summit where George Bush and Bill Clinton were there. And they submitted part of the Agenda 21 plan. Ooh, yeah. The rewilding plan. One big unified continent of love and peace and tranquility and equity. Equity, too. I forgot equity. It's the buzzword. It's like slop. We got to say the buzzwords or we won't get the clicks. We won't get the likes and the hits, for heaven's sakes. Got to say slop. Got to say boomer. And for heaven's sake, say crash out. I'm been to crash out. What a bunch of garbage. Boy, do I hate these people. Anyway. So that's what's really going on, folks. So get ready. Get ready to sacrifice your kids to the cults. You thought just because they were sort of stamping out a little abortion here, there, and really nowhere, that the kids would be safe, perhaps in the womb in select areas and locales, but certainly not outside of the womb. Because outside of the womb, you're finna sign up for the draft. We covered this on the last episode. It's now a required automatic draft submission. And they're just dying to pull the trigger on that one, pun intended. So they can suck your kids into the jet of the draft. They can go fight wars over there for the little people. Yes, las gorras pequeñas, the little hats. And then they can fight wars, I guess, against Greenland and against Mexico and Cuba. There's going to be a humdinger against Cuba. Dare I say, a slobber knocker. Shout out to JR. A slobber knocker in Cuba because they already got the USSR over there backing in with some diesel fuel and some destroyers in tow. What you gonna do, brother? So you got that. Man. This one, I hope this is AI. I don't think it is, though. I'm going to cover this one. This is AI. I don't think it is. It's not. I do believe this is either AI or fake news. Either way, it's funny. But I don't think it's fake or AI. Anyway, so you got AOC. And as I've said before, no sacred cows in my barn. So if you're speaking some truth, I'm going to talk about you. And if you're speaking some bull jive, I'm going to talk about you too. So we all know AOC, the brewista, the chick at the bar, whatever, you know, vastly the IQ of a earthworm. I'm the guy that did the OG Ojos Locos meme from like 5-6 years ago. That was me. So I'm not one to like hold my criticism back on the right nor the left. But occasionally, As I say, a broken clock is right twice a day. She must have got some great notes from some other people. All her speeches are clearly written, as are DJT's. You know, she's got the teleprompter working. She's got it all going on, and she's just going to speak some truth for you. So I'd rather listen to this bull jive than old Hegseth, because this is actually legit, real, and 100% factual. I can see no bull in her words. I mean, I hate to say it. No B to the S from AOC. Here, let's hear it.
That is what we're here to do today. Unfortunately, the leaders of this industry have repeated time and time again that they view working people as an endless untapped market to be manipulated and exploited, that they would sell our country out if it meant that they could turn a profit. And it is no surprise that in the 4 years since ChatGPT was released, we have seen AI deployed at a massive scale to create Big Brother-like surveillance. Every day, Americans are seeing videos of ICE agents waving phones into crowds, threatening that if they use their First Amendment rights, U.S. citizens using their First Amendment rights, that they will be added to some vague database that the American people have not consented to nor are knowledgeable about. Companies like Palantir are mining endlessly the data and privacy of the American people, keeping track of everything that they say and do, and sending it all to a militarized and centralized government. When you take the subway, when you share a TikTok, when you talk to your Alexa at home, they are collecting your data and figuring out new ways to weaponize it. And now they are using AI tools to automate this so that it is not only pervasive, but that it is effortless. We must sound the alarm now. And because of this surveillance of the American people is not going to stop, we must stop it. All of this harm has occurred not in spite of, but because of the absence of federal legislation to regulate AI. This is not.
As I said a moment ago, folks, I got no lies detected on that one. AOC is speaking some truth. I mean, it ain't her truth. It could have been a trained seal up there speaking that. I'd still go, that seal is on point. Flipper is speaking the realness right now. So, again, you know, calling out Palantir, calling the global police state what it is, calling out the Alexa spying on you. If you got an Alexa, you got to, you know, I ain't gonna say. I'm gonna try to keep it nice. Anyway, so that's the realness. Again, I shudder to think what really is coming down the pike, because AOC is speaking the realness. It's darn right insane. Darn right insane. Man, I want to play this last clip for you, but I don't really know if I need to. It's a 5-minute clip. It's so spot on. Just don't know, folks. I just don't know. All right, let's hit it. Let's hit it. 5-minute clip. We're going to play this one. This is a clip from a bygone era. And I'm probably going to get some strikes on this or some bull job on the YouTube. So just so the YouTube knows, all 5 people that are on my YouTube channel, this is for critique. Yeah. Let's listen to a little wonder years from back in the day. I'll try to break this down for you. I'm not going to play the full clip, perhaps. I'm just going to let it roll, and I'm going to throw my 2 cents in and let it roll. So I'm going to hit it.
Hi, Lewis. Nice to meet you. And it was no small hope. It was Dad, the Maginot line of family resistance. Things were going to be okay. Dad would take care of this guy. Now the Arnold men would stand together.
All right, so let's break it down a little bit more. So what we got going on here is an old clip by the Wonder Years program. Lovely show. It had some great moments in it. Depressingly, horribly sad ending, but what the heck? So the Wonder Years, what we got going on here? I'll set the stage for you. This is when men were actually still men and not all neutered little women. But this is also when the brainwashing was still getting brainwashed. So it's the men folk, it's the Arnold men, and the narrator is the young boy there on the right, Kevin Arnold, and the dad on the far left. This is the real man's man. This is the I fought in Korea, and I know what's going on in the world, and I'm a conservative. Anyway, so we got that going on. So I'll set the stage for you a little bit. You got the daughter coming in with the commie fruitcake. It's one of those hippies, I tell you. And you know my disdain for hippies, the whole drug culture, all that mumbo jumbo bull butter. It's just weak, pathetic trash. I feel you. But occasionally there's a diamond in the rough. A little bit of the time, a nugget of truth slides under the door.
Oh, God, Marissa.
Well, some of the Arnold men.
No chicken?
Lewis doesn't eat meat, Dad.
Oh, yeah. Lewis doesn't eat meat. Right away, he's going, okay. I don't like this guy. But look at it in today's perspective. Everything you eat is GMO horse manure. It is. Unless you're eating organic. And I know you've seen the same videos and all the same people talking as me. Even the organic's not organic anymore. It's all deadly and poisonous and downright blasphemous, I tell you. So at the end of the day, is this really a bad thing? I don't think so.
Hey, just thought I'd mention it.
No meat, Lewis? No.
For me, Lewis has got his little beads on and stuff, man. Lewis is good to go.
No meat, huh? Imagine that.
I knew it.
And the dad's going, hey, I saw this guy a mile away. I knew he's a fruitcake. He's a commie, left his fruit bat, and I don't disagree with that.
But Dad would carve through this guy like a butcher carves through a pork loin.
Yeah. You would think so.
Why the Vanderverts didn't go to Brian's funeral. They were in Chicago.
Here we go. Here's a little nugget of knowledge dropped upon you. Bling. A little dribble in the pond. So what's up is one of the neighbor kids down the street died in Vietnam.
Dick's mother had a stroke. One of the boys on our block was killed in Vietnam several weeks ago.
Oh, I know. I mean, Karen told me. Another meaningless death.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Another meaningless death. But wait, the dad's going to jump in.
I beg your pardon?
I just meant that it's such a shame a kid has to die for basically no reason.
100% fact, Jack. Ain't nothing changed but the date. Nothing has changed but the date. You can quote me on that one. Feel free. John H. Nothing changes but the date. It doesn't. It's the same bull jive that's always been the same bull jive.
Or broccoli, anyone?
I don't think it's meaningless when a young man dies for freedom and freedom.
The mom's trying to roll over this. She's going, can't we all just get along? She's pulling the Rodney King thing. Total scumbag, but I digress.
Country.
I just have a little trouble justifying dying for a government that systematically represses its citizens.
Oh, honey.
What? My gracious goodness sakes alive. I think we've got Veritas there.
Try the potatoes. I put grated cheese on them.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
It means that the United States government is responsible for the oppression of blacks, women, free speech.
Well, perhaps, little lady.
All right. I don't know if I'd go all that far. They're responsible for the repression of their own people. Why don't we just leave it at that?
You like to go live in Russia for a while, huh?
Oh, I think what Karen's saying is that...
Look, Buster, I happen to believe that freedom and democracy have certain advantages that communist dictatorships don't. And
okay, I'm buying that. That's verdad. Es verdad.
That is what Vietnam is all about.
Negativo. No es verdad. That's not what Vietnam was about. It ain't what this bull job was about. That's not what about the Ukraine nonsense was about. That's not what Desert Storm 1, 2, 3, 4, the Revenge Tour, none of that was about.
No, man, that's what they brainwash you to believe it's all about.
Woo-hoo. We have a winner.
They turn people into brainwashed morons.
My hunch was that my father would not let being called a brainwashed moron at his dinner table go by unremarked.
So, you think I've been brainwashed, do you, Lewis?
See?
No. Look, I think anyone who supports the American war effort in Vietnam is having the wool pulled over his eyes.
I see.
Just like they did with Korea.
Mm-hmm.
The hell do you know about Korea? I was in Korea. I lost a lot of good friends there.
Daddy, that doesn't have anything to do with what we're saying.
And they weren't.
It actually does. It's the same nonsense over and over again. It's not peace. It's just war for profit, for sacrifice, for the globalists.
Brainwashed. They were brave men who weren't afraid to fight for what they believed in. Now, if you're afraid to fight, why don't you just say so? Why don't you just admit that you're chicken?
You're damn right. I am chicken. I don't want to die like your friends.
Good
what
point.
do you think that you achieved over there? Hmm? Do you think that those people are free? They're not free, man.
Not a
Except
chance.
to buy Coca-Cola and Nestle's Quick, get loans from Chase Manhattan Bank.
That's crap.
You were used, man, and your friends were used.
That's crap.
Daddy, you never listen to what we say. Some of what we say is true.
Don't accept all this death and then justify it. It is wrong. Your friends should be alive. They should be enjoying dinner and arguing with their kids just like you are.
What do you know about it? Who the hell are you to say that?
You see this, man? This is my draft notice. In 2 weeks, I can go to jail. I can go to Canada. Or I can go get shot full of holes like your friend Brian Cooper. You keep thinking the way you do, Mr. Arnold. And these two will be next. And I just hope that's what they want. Excuse me.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Too much truth. Too much truth.
And so, after all, Karen left with Lewis.
All right. I think you get what I'm putting down here. That's really what's going on, folks. It's a global satanic death cult of pedophiles. They don't care any more about you than you do the flipping ants outside on the driveway. You're just cannon fodder. You're just cogs in the machine. That's really it. So, if you want to break your conditioning, if you want to break on through to the other side, that whole stupid doors garbage, it's real easy. You just got to stop buying the bull jive. You got to stop believing in the globalist satanic death cult system that has put you in this predicament now. You got to stop believing that half the U.S. is your enemy and the other half is your friend. I couldn't be more far from the truth. It's like saying everybody you went to high school with is your friend. And the team across town, they're all your enemies. That stupid myopic thinking didn't work when you were 16, and it shouldn't be working now. That's retarded. So that's kind of where we're at, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's all this dichotomy. It's all this binary opposition. It's the CPAC camp versus the No Kings camp. It's the Dems and the Republicans. Quite apropos for the upcoming NBA playoffs and the Final Four and the college sports. Everybody's got to pick their team. Everybody's got to believe that they're the best side and the other team, or they're the worst side. We can't be friends with those cats. And that's how the global satanic death cult always wins. Because they don't want to be your friend. And they don't have any qualms about allying themselves with other global satanic death cult members in another country. They don't care. It's not about your stupid flag. It's not about your nationality, your skin color, what you're doing with your wee-wee, or whether or not you have a wee-wee. That's just bull jive to keep you divided, folks. So eventually, you've got to kind of break through the forest for the trees groupthink that they've set you up into. Maybe even cut off all these devices and just sit around and think. Because everything I just played you in that little Wonder Years clip is very apropos, and it's quite true. So you can stay in Arnold's dad's mindset. Truth, justice, and the American way. Mom, apple pie, baseball, and we'll kill the, whatever. Or you can think, hey, I don't have to be a drugged out loser hippie fruitcake with shaggy hair and beads on. I can actually be informed. And just say, I'm good, thanks. Because as I've mentioned so many times before, everything's participatory. You've actually got to participate in the bull in order to fall for it. To simplify it as simple as I can make it, think of the Red Rover game. Remember that when you were in grade school? Red Rover, send Steve right over. Maybe Steve just doesn't show up. Then what do you do? It's like that old, I hate to use it, but the old hippie quote, what if they throw a war and nobody shows up? That's kind of the premise here, folks. Stop buying into the bull jive. Stop believing in the system that has betrayed you. Stop believing that it's 5D chess or whatever the bleep it is. Belief's a funny thing, folks. Some things you need to have, quote unquote, faith in. But most things you sure as believe just don't need to believe in. You can believe in a lot of nonsense and get yourself in a sling. You know what I'm saying? All right, enough of me. I know I've gone way over time. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Get out there, do your part, make a difference, and I'll be seeing you sooner than later in the anomic age.
Thank you for listening to The Anomic Age, a John Age project. For past shows, further info, and to comment, go to anomicage.com. That's ANOMICAGE.com. Till next time, thank you for listening to The Anomic Age.